All right. So you're learning a lot, and this is like a big body of knowledge. To learn how to make web pages from scratch, which is what you should do if you're learning how to make web pages. Otherwise, just go to one of those websites that's like, click, fill out the little form fields, and your website's automatically generated for you. But if you want to be a craftsperson in the craft of creating web pages, then you have to learn HTML and CSS. And if you use any libraries or frameworks, they're just going to make you weak. You won't know what's going on. You might know how to use that library and framework, but you won't understand the real technology, what's really happening behind the scenes. And so if you want to be a true craftsperson, you're doing what you need to be doing. And it's a big body of knowledge, but we're starting to wrap our heads around it, and we're making progress, and you're getting some skills, and you're starting to see things happening. And, we're not far away. Like when you think about how much does it take to become a lawyer or to become this or that? Like any profession takes a fair amount of due diligence and work and time. And here we are. I don't know how many hours into the course, about 150 lectures into the course. And it's a semester-long course, which is, 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours of lecture a week. So that's like 17 weeks times 2, 34 hours for the entire semester. But we're getting some skills. And in this section, we learned about flexbox. And so one of the first most important things, this is the review, one of the first and most important things is to understand flexbox. You have to understand flex containers, right? There's the container, and then there's the flex items, which are the immediate direct children inside the container. And so we could set properties on the container, and we could set properties on the items. And so we spent a lot of time looking at the different properties we could set on the container and the different properties we could set on the items. And so one of the most important things was like, first we have to establish our container. So we do that with display flex, and that will say make that a container. And then we set the direction. Is it row or is it column? And we set flex wrap, right? Wrap it or don't wrap it, or wrap reverse. That was the trick question at the end of Flexbox Froggy. And so once we've set that, and the defaults are no wrap and row, right? We could arrange things along the primary axes or the cross axes, right? And we use justify content to arrange along the primary axes, the main axes. And so how do we determine our main axes? It's flex direction. So flex direction is row, main axis is row. Justify content moves things along the main axes, which in this example I'm just giving you is a row. And if we want to move things along the cross axes, we use align either items or align content. Align items moves the items individually, kind of leaves space in between if you have more than one line, more than one row of them. And align content moves the whole chunk, right? So you can move the whole chunk. So those were like the container properties, the CSS properties that we set for flex containers. And we used CSS Tricks, which is a great resource and reference for, looking at the properties and understanding them and referencing these pictures. And the flex container stuff's on the left, the properties for flex container on the left, properties for flex items are on the right. And that's part of my job as your teacher, is to give you good resources, right? Like I want to give you the right tools. If we were woodworkers, if that was the type of craftsperson we were becoming, then I'd say, hey, only use a chisel from this manufacturer because it's better. It's going to help you out. It's going to make your job easier. Same deal here. So then we looked at the properties for the flex items, and those were align self. So align self is like align items, but for one item. And then we have order, so we could change the order in which things are displayed. That's totally cool. And we had flex grow, flex shrink, and flex bases. And that means, hey, make something grow, make it shrink, or set its original width. So if we set the width, then when it's at that width, no growing and no shrinking, but we get bigger, it grows. We get smaller, it shrinks, or if it's 0. Interestingly, the default value for flex grow is 0, meaning don't grow, and for shrink, it's 1, meaning shrink. And then we can use the flex shorthand property, flex grow, flex shrink, flex basis, right? And so you'll often see 0, 1 auto. Like people just like use that, and they're like, I don't know what the hell that means, but you're just supposed to use it. Well, now you do know what it means. And I kid you not, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't know what it means. So I really like this resource at the end of all of our reviews, because you could see like what did we learn in this section, and then we have our ongoing stuff, all the HTML tags we've learned so far. and all of the CSS properties we've learned so far. And then I highlight for you what we've learned in this section. So new CSS properties we've learned are for container properties and also for flex item properties, right? So those are the new ones we learned. So it's a big chunk of knowledge. You're doing great. You're getting it. You're going to be building websites, and you're going to know how to build them from the ground up, right? Using the fundamentals, the best tools. Focus on the fundamentals here. And that's going to make you strong, and it's going to allow you to develop custom websites that are lean and fast. And better yet, you'll have that peace of mind and the security of knowledge that you know what the heck you're doing and that you understand all of your code. So that's a cool deal. All right, so in the next section, we're going to be learning about media queries. So we just did Flexbox, container items, then we're going to do media queries. Then we're going to see Google design patterns for Flexbox. And then I have some Flexbox examples where layouts are built out. And then after that, we're going to look at position, which is also used for layout, and float. And then who knows what after that, but that's all the code I put together so far. All right, it's a good show. And you're doing great, and you're getting good things out of it. So stick with it if it interests you, because you just keep going, you're going to get better. Drop by drop, that bucket's getting filled.